Hey, respectfully, bro, I don't care how many girls you can pull. I don't. I don't care how bad they are, how fine they are. Only thing I care about is whether or not you can take your woman from being in her masculine era to being in her feminine era. That's the real flex. If you a grown man, now if you 19, 20 years old, you in high school or something like that, okay, cool. But past the age of 25, past the age of 30, ain't nothing cool about being able to lock a woman down or pull any kind of chick. Any dude with a little bit of money, decent face can go and pull chicks these days. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, sisters. I just want to talk straight to my dudes real quick. Any dude can do that, but not any man can take a woman from being in survival mode, from being hyper independent, from always having to look out for everybody else, be everything to everybody else, to understanding that she's safe now. She ain't got to look over her shoulder. She could turn her brain off in the presence of her man. Not every man could do that. That's rare. That's rare. In discernment time, because I want to be balanced. I'm not talking about doing this for just any woman. Like, I'm not talking about taking just any woman out of her masculine era, because some women honestly don't care. I'm talking about the woman that wants to be in her feminine, wants to be safe and soft and give you that version of her. But she's had to do it alone this whole time. She's had to look out for her. Ain't no plan B. She's the backup. That woman, like she absolutely would 100% lean into her most feminine, soft self if a man was safe to do that. That's the woman. If you could take that woman out of her masculine and into her feminine, then I can respect you. Y'all be out here, man, thinking that you so fly, you so lit, cause you got chicks and you got this many girls you keeping on a roster and this, that, and the other, brother. All it takes is you to have bad priorities and no discipline to get you a roster. That's all it takes. If you got bad priorities and no discipline, let me bring it a little bit closer. That's all it takes to have a quote unquote roster. There is nothing impressive about that whatsoever. But if you could take that woman who's had all the weight in the world on her shoulders and let her know, like at a subconscious level, give her the confidence that she ain't got to carry that alone no more. That's what I respect. We need to stop patting dudes on the back just because they can pull a lot of chicks and they flex about how fine a girl is and you know how many women want them, how many women in they DMs. When half the time is that you in a thousand women DMs and there's a couple of them that them reply back and that's why you got them in your DMs. That's amateur. High school level bragging. That's for dudes who peaked in their 20s, early 20s at that. The real flex, man, as a grown up, as a mature man, is not in you having the baddest chick or having the most options. It's in being the kind of man who can take a woman who's been everything to everybody else and let her finally feel safe enough to just be. That's the real flex. Taking a woman who's built an empire on her own or always taking care of herself on her own with no handouts and creating an environment where she can finally exhale. Any clown with a couple of dollars or, you know, a manipulative enough mouthpiece, maybe a decent face can attract some type of pretty girl. I don't care about that. Real men transform independent women into soft women who trust them enough to lower their shields, to lower their guard. If I'm speaking facts, please put facts down in the comments because maybe it's just my perspective. Y'all let me know. Sisters, brothers, if you want to hear, but sisters, I know y'all gonna keep it real with me. Tell me if I'm speaking facts or if I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. Now, again, this is specifically for the woman that wants to be in her feminine, wants to be like she would absolutely lean into that feminine version of her, the soft, receptive, a trusting version of her. If the environment justified it. If the environment justified it. And with the environment to justify it needs to be safe. Now, here's something a lot of people get twisted. If they think that the environment is strictly their job or strictly, their relationship. It's two things that affects everything. What I've seen is the relationship affects the emotional state and the mental state. The financial position that you're in affects, of course, the mental state with all that stress, which spills over into the physical. Now, all four areas of your life can create somewhat of a survival mode if you don't have them in check. So if you're a woman, really men too, but if you're a woman listening to this, yes, be in a healthy relationship, hold that man accountable, but do not neglect the financial aspect. Both of those will keep you in your masculine, in your hyper independent self. You don't want that. And maybe you can't make this man act right, but I found that women who make sure their finances are in order have a much better chance of getting the man who has to contribute good character and integrity and true value, as opposed to just a couple of bills paid, overcompensating for what he's not going to give you in his integrity and his character. To make it simple, if you don't do nothing else as a woman listening to this, make sure your money is right. And don't think like the average person that money right means you got $20,000, $30,000 in the bank. That's not what it means. It means you can access immediate spending power should you need it for emergencies. Just so a man can't leave you high and dry if he's being a financial contributor in a relationship and he wants to start acting up. Spending power doesn't mean money in the bank. Quick little lesson. Matter of fact, the best way to get immediate spending power, let me put this here. The best way to get immediate spending power, and this is for every person listening, you got an average job, you make average money, you ain't got that much in the bank, whatever. I don't care who you are. If you got a good credit score, you can have $20,000 to $30,000 at your fingertips at all times. Because if you got at least a 700 credit score, you can go to any bank and access $20,000 to $30,000 should you need it. A lot of people don't know that. For whatever reason, they're not going to teach that. Let me put this down in the comments though. Because if you don't have a good credit score, don't trip. There's no shame here. Life can happen to us all. Because you got late payments or you got repos, bankrupt. I don't care what you got on your credit report. Get you a good credit repair specialist to look at your credit report. If they're truly legitimate, they can get your credit cleaned in probably 30 days. That's what my credit specialist did for me. If you want access to my credit specialist and not for his full price of $2,000, because that's what a good credit repair specialist is going to charge you, and you want to get the discount that goes through my link, comment the word fixed. If you need your credit fixed, because I don't like to provide problems without providing solutions. If you don't know a good credit repair specialist, you want to get your credit fixed so you can have a 700 plus credit score, fresh start with your credit legally, and be able to access $20,000 to $30,000 immediately, comment the word fixed. I'm going to send you a link to get my credit repair specialist. Not at his normal $2,000 price. I think right now he's doing a discount for like $250. Matter of fact, if you do the payment plan, you can start for just $64 with a money back guarantee. Comment the word fixed and I got you. But back to what I was saying, because I don't want to get off track too much. For any dude that's over the age of really 25 and you bragging about how many chicks you got, that's the one thing that could let me know how immature you are. You're still young. you're still a little boy. You're still a little boy. If you bragging about how many girls you got on lock and all that kind of stuff, I know that you're a little boy. And that's not to look down on women who are, in their masculine or whatever. Whenever I say that, like, the real flex is taking a woman out of her masculine. But it's to understand that in the presence of true masculine energy from a man, most women are going to step into their feminine energy. Y'all be out here demanding feminine energy, but real feminine energy isn't something you got to demand. It's not something you got to demand. Matter of fact, if you have true, healthy, masculine energy, that's going to create the environment where femininity naturally blooms. All the receptiveness, all of the benefit of the doubt, all of that comes from a man being safe enough to where that woman ain't got to watch over her own back. You can't order a woman to be soft while you're making her life hard. Y'all be out here saying, well, you need to be feminine. You need to be soft. You need to watch your tone. You need to ask me about how I'm doing. You need to. Feminine energy emerges when masculine energy is solid enough to hold space for it. That's how that works. Real masculine energy is when you as a man handle your business so she don't have to worry if the rent is covered or if you're going to show up whenever you said, or if the plan that you set in place is actually going to get followed through. It's managing your emotions. So she's not your unpaid therapist. That's for a man, real masculine energy. Of course, with every woman, there is masculine and feminine balance, the same way with a man. But for a man, it looks like those things. It looks like making decisions with confidence so she doesn't have to lead everything. It looks like hearing her the first time she says it instead of expecting her to keep explaining, keep repeating over and over and over again until she gets frustrated. Real masculine energy is not just being willing to fight or go to jail or anything like that. If you're going to be a real masculine and protective man, protect her from stress instead of creating more of it. So now when this woman sees that you're financially, emotionally, and mentally stable and safe, that's whenever it unlocks the softness in her. That's when it unlocks the softness in her. You can't expect a woman to be soft whenever you haven't made her feel safe. I've been saying that for years. I'm glad some people are getting the message. Any man can lock down a woman. It takes a true king to unlock the woman she's always had to be afraid to be. It takes a true masculine, evolved man to unlock the version of her she's always knew she could be but couldn't be because she was in survival mode. Locking her down don't impress me. Having her committed to you, that don't impress me. But making her feel safe enough to be vulnerable, that's impressive. That's impressive. So flexing that you in control, and no, flex that you created such solid leadership that her guard naturally comes down for you. That it naturally comes down for you. That woman been betrayed, disappointed, let down so many times that her walls, they're like Fort Knox level. So the flex ain't that she's with you. Lots of women are with men right now that they do not trust. They trying to get there. They're looking for evidence, but they're not getting there. So the real flex is if she can trust you enough to show you the parts of herself that she protects from everyone else. That's the real flex. And that's not control. That's earning something that's priceless. That's earning something that's priceless. Tracy says, I love your videos because you speak the truth, but it's some females who ruin good men too because it happened to my brother. I absolutely agree. That's why I said, if you watching this, hear me and hear me well. This ain't for everybody. This is not for those women that are not willing to step into their feminine in the presence of real masculine energy. This ain't for them. This ain't for the women that just want to use a man for their money. This ain't for them. I'm talking about those women who truly want to be soft and feminine and they know they can access it, but they've done it before and they've gotten harmed. And this man that they're with isn't willing to show and prove with his patterns that it's safe now. She don't need her guard. She's been a warrior all this time. Now it's time for her to be a soft woman, a soft princess. I'm talking about that group of women. You ain't out here to hurt nobody. All the toxic women, I wish they could go to another planet with toxic men and they just leave everybody else alone. But that ain't the world we live in. So as a man, I want to speak to my brother because I've been there, bro. I don't sit up on no pedestal. I don't want to posture myself like I've always had it figured out. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I've had to learn the hard way myself. It ain't no flex, bro. That's why you always need a new chick. Cause 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 ain't enough. But when you bring out the best in one woman, she's going to overflow you. She's going to overwhelm you. I'm talking to every dude. Man, look, y'all be out here thinking, well, I'm so horny. I got to have sex. You take that good girl and let her know that she's safe. I don't want to get explicit, but she'll blow your mind. She'll probably be too much for you. The woman who's been managing access to her body, her time, her energy, that now knows she's safe to not hold back. Ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, or tell me facts in the comments if I'm speaking facts. she will likely overwhelm you with how much she wants the very thing that you out here looking for in the streets. Like I'm talking about, from one woman. I mean, it's just nothing to brag about, bro. If you got, she bad, she fine, man, ain't nothing to brag about. Start working on being a safe space for the woman that you got. Start being that. A woman's looks, honestly, yes, they can come from hard work in the gym, and that's great. But largely it comes from her genetics. But her comfort with you is your character review. That tells me a lot about a man. Not everything, but a lot about a man. Depending on who that woman is with you and how safe she is with you and how carefree she is with you, that tells me everything I need to know. But as far as you bragging about having a cutie, a pretty girl, man, look, pretty girls are everywhere, bro. Emotional safety for guarded women, that's not. That's actually rare. So it's nice if you can get a cute chick and you can pull her and she's pretty. Congrats, man, on having eyes and some basic communication skills. But can that girl sleep peacefully next to you without worrying whether or not you're texting other women? Can she do that? Can she be vulnerable without you using it against her later? Can she do that? That's what I'm gonna ask you. Can she express her needs without you calling her needy? Can she have a bad day without you making it about you? That's the real test. Any man can date a beautiful woman. Not every man can make her feel beautiful, safe, and chosen. The real flex is her energy shift with you into that playful, almost little girl version of her that knows she's protected. When she goes from I got this to we got this, that's the real flex. And women who have been made to be so hyper independent, they don't just automatically soften. They soften when they finally trust another person's strength, where they know everything isn't relying on their own. Matter of fact, her willingness to share that load, that's the highest form of trust. When she knows she can stop planning everything because your planning is solid, is going to get followed through. When she stops overworking because your provision is reliable, not that she stops doing anything, not that she gets lazy, but whenever she knows it's not all on her shoulders, so she doesn't have to burn herself out. When that woman knows she ain't got to be hyper vigilant because your protection is consistent, her whole mentality goes from, oh, I got to do this and I need to handle this, to let's figure this out together. Or I ain't even tripping because my man got me. I ain't even tripping because my man got me. That transition from a solo operator to a trusting partner, that's your report card of your masculine energy or lack thereof. But that's really what tells me what kind of man you really are. Having multiple jigs, man, they just honestly, like I said, bro, like if you 15, 17 years old, 20 years old, maybe, okay. Good. But creating loyalty in one woman who previously had trust issues before you, that I can salute. That I can salute. Our options out here, honestly, they're about quantity. But transformation of that one woman is about the quality of your character. Any decent looking guy with minimal effort can, play the numbers game and have multiple women interested. You hit up 1,000 women, you're going to find 3 or 4 who are desperate or broken or whatever that you can prey on as a predator that you are. And now go around and brag like you done did something that's all cool. But I've yet to see a man who was with one woman, who felt so safe in his protection. I'm talking about after 6 months, after a year, after 2 years of being with him. Some skin is in the game. And she feels safe with him. And that man wasn't a truly evolved man. That's when I know. You can take a woman that's been cheated on before and lied to before, abandoned even, and you can love her so consistently that she learns to trust again, that's whenever you really that dude. That's whenever you really him. That's not about your looks. That's not about your game, aka your manipulation. That's about your integrity, creating safety in a woman who had every reason to stay guarded. So I salute the man who makes his woman feel safe enough to stop being a soldier and start being a partner. That's the man that I salute. That's the man that I respect. Modern masculinity isn't about dominance. It's about creating environments where others can thrive. The men we should be out here respecting and applauding are those that build sanctuaries, not those that just collect trophies. Not those that just they champion their conquest. But if anything, they conquer their lust, they conquer their flesh, they conquer their emotions so they can make one woman feel safe enough to give her full feminine energy. Like that's what I respect. And again, sisters, let me say this. One huge thing that gets overlooked is the finances, and not because you can't do it or you got to be inheriting somebody's trust fund or whatever. But I understand as a woman, you might want your provider, but don't let them lie to you. Not all providers are created equal. There are predatory providers who just want to do enough to have leverage over you to be able to strip you of your financial well-being, of your bills being paid, to snatch that rug from under your feet the moment you start holding them accountable. There are those. And then there are traditional providers, which is great. But I'll tell you something. In both situations, it's best when you have your own. That don't mean that you got $20, $30, $40,000 in the bank. That don't mean you got this huge thriving business. That means you have some kind of spending power where you choosing a man based on what you want and what you value, not the man that you need financially. And it may take you months and months and months to get to the point where you got like $30,000, $40,000 if you just try to go stack it up. It only takes you 3 or 4 weeks if you just get your credit straight and you leverage that to go to any bank to get you $20,000, $30,000. You ain't got to wait 6 months, a year. That's the life hack nobody is talking about. That's the life hack. And if your credit ain't straight, don't even trip. Some of y'all are like, well, I ain't got good credit. I still got that stuff on my credit from 4 years ago. Don't sit there and think you got to wait 7 years for it to fall off. Side note, it's not illegal to do credit repair. Some people got this totally mixed up. FCRA, you can look this up yourself, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. These are the laws that govern credit reporting agencies. This is something I learned on my own, but I much rather let somebody else who's really familiar with this and knows it's like the back of their hand work with my credit. But anyway, this is what you leverage to get your credit right. You can do it on your own. I want to let you know that if you're listening to this, you can get your own credit straight. It's a lot harder if you go at it alone, but you can. FCRA. If you don't take nothing away on the financial end of what I'm saying, take that away. Now, again, I'm the type, I'd rather somebody else who just knows this, get it done. That's why I got my credit repair specialist. His name is Eli Washington. Not only has he helped other people, actually, if you comment the word fixed, I'll show you where he fixed my credit, mine. Not some guy I think is good. The guy who worked on my credit took it from a 490 to an 816. Some of y'all have heard me talk about it. Some of y'all already seen the video where I show my credit report in real time. If you want to see it, comment fixed. If you want your credit fixed by the same man who got mine to an 800 plus in 30 days, comment fixed. He's the fastest credit repair specialist, the most legitimate one, the only legitimate one that I personally know. And he has a money back guarantee if you don't see the results that you wanted to see, which I already know is not going to happen. But if you need your credit repaired, your credit starts with a 4, 5, or 6, comment the word fixed. You can at least take care of that part of making sure that you don't operate from a place of void whenever you're dating. No man has your livelihood in his hands. You're not going to sleep with financial paranoia and stress, and some man can leverage that in order to treat you crazy, but at least he pay a couple bills. You can at least take care of that part of survival mode and not be in your masculine era because of that. You can at least control that. Now, on the relationship end, that's a different story. But I've found women who can hold their own financially, they have less options, but the decrease in quantity results in an increase in quality. The only men that are going to be intimidated by you having your own are men who needed you to be financially broken or somehow codependent in order to be in a relationship with you. Those kind of men don't want partnership. They want power over you. Those kind of men don't want partnership. They want power over you. Those are the kind of men that get to bragging and this, that, and the other. Oh, look how many I got. Look, again, I do not care. You're not going to impress me or no real man. If you're a dude listening to this right now, you got a woman right now and you so proud, she's so bad, or you got so many different, that's, brother, you sound like the clown that you are. Taking your woman out of her masculine era and bringing her into her feminine era, that's the real flex. It just requires you to step fully into your healthy masculine energy first. That woman didn't become hard because she just wanted to. She probably became hard because soft girls these days get eaten alive. So don't come over here bragging about your surface level wins. That's not it. The real flex is not in having this many girls or this fine of a girl. The most options is being safe enough that one woman who's been everything to everybody can finally trust you enough to just be herself, to let her guard down, to turn her mind off when she's with you. If you listening to this right now, man or woman, and you agree, find a little arrow down here and hit the share button. Find a little arrow, hit the share button so we can spread more of this truth, because a lot of people are afraid to. If you're not afraid to spread the truth and you know what I said was true, any part, find a little arrow down here, hit the share button. I'm your internet big bro. You know I got your back. Again, if you need your credit repair, I think somebody asked about medical bill. Anything that is on your credit, late payments, collections, repossessions, bankruptcies, legally, using the FCRA, which are laws, can be removed in 30 days off your credit report. I advise you to go get some kind of legitimate credit repair specialist. If you want the one that did my credit repair, comment the word fixed and he will work on yours for a fraction of his normal price. So if you leave this and you continue on with bad credit, that's up to you. I ain't seen a legitimate credit repair specialist yet that can get you straight for $64 payments or $250 if you only want to do one-time payment. Never in my life. And I don't know how long he's going to be doing this discount. Comment the word fixed. I'll send you the link or hit the link that's pinned down there in the comments. Holla at y'all lady. I'll be good. Peace.